This was the start of an era. This is the Panoz GTR-1. It was designed and built originally by Adrian Reynard, a great race car builder in England. It was the first in 30-some years to race as a prototype with the engine in the front. Of course, everybody had put engines in the rear in prototypes because they felt that was the advance of new technology and would carry things forward. And with a front engine car in those days, you had a 60 or 70 pound drivetrain from the engine to the gearbox. Adrian figured out with the new technologies that were then coming that we could do a drive shaft that would only weigh about 6 pounds. But the trade-off was the power of the car and the balance by having the engine behind the axle and the gearbox in front of the rear axle. This car was originally, the first ones were delivered to us about 2 weeks before Sebring in 1997. And Paul Newman and Doc Bundy were the two guys that tested it out when we got it. And I went to Sebring in March, and the first time on the track with Eric Bernard, who was one of our drivers at the time, along with Doc Bundy. The first time on the track set the track record. There was a lot of intrigue in the paddock because Andy Evans at that time, who had owned IMSA and then Professional Sports Car Racing as a sanctioning body, owned the Sebring track, had a race team and was driving a Ferrari in the race prototype, was recorded on the radio calling back to the tower, which was under his domain, and saying, "What is this goddamn car in front of me? I've been trying to pass it for the last hour, and between our class and that, I should be able to pass it, and so we'll have to penalize it." Well, as racing luck has it, we got into the race, we'd set the track record, but, and being a new car, we had an electrical glitch about the second lap, I think. And a good chap who was on the team by the name of Danny Binks, he's now with Corvette, I think literally got out on the track and almost carried this car all the way from turn one, all the way back to the pit entrance, and got it back in, and we did get it back on the track. But we quit after 8 hours because there was no sense, we couldn't win the race, and it was doing good. But for its first time ever on the track in competition to set a track record at an historic track like Sebring, with all of its years, it's the second oldest sports car race in the world, with all of its years of competition, I just think was phenomenal. And the car went on to win a number of championships, team championships, driver championships. It raced both in professional sports car racing. It raced in the USRRC. It later raced in the American Lawn Series, but had a great track record, won a lot of races, and it was the start and the basic architecture of the car that went on to become the Panoz LMP1 cars, and really did a phenomenal job. It's different. I mean, can you imagine being some poor little Porsche up there looking in your rearview mirrors and seeing this front getting bigger in those mirrors and taking up your view? I mean, this is a car that just says, hey, I'm coming, watch out, don't mess with me. We come out of those corners, I'm going to pass you, and it did all of that. Its reputation lived up to its looks.